Today I am with Elke from Wander-lust, and she wrote a book together with a friend about off-the-beaten track travel, and I'm very interested in off-the-beaten track travel, so we're going to do an interview today.
My name is Elke Salverda. I am the co-founder of wander-lust.nl, which sounds very Dutch, but it's actually an English travel platform. And I live in Zandpoort Noord. I traveled to the Philippines in 2014. This was a little bit before it became a hype to go to the Philippines. So it was a little bit unknown still. There were no beach bars or anything like that. And we went there and we arrived on a little island called Bantayan Island. It takes quite a long time to get there. It's just above Cebu. And when we were there, it was beautiful weather. We were driving on a scooter, passing all the little villages, and all these children were waving at us. That was already a really nice experience. However, suddenly the winds changed, the weather changed within a couple of minutes. And I received a text from a friend of mine from the Netherlands, and she said, "Hey, did you know there's typhoons in the Philippines currently? Are you okay?" And this and that. It was on the news apparently. And then it started to rain and storm, but really, really bad, you know? And I remember standing there trying to get some shelter under a tree, and this girl, this Filipino girl, from a little wooden house, came up to us with an umbrella, and she told us to come. And nobody spoke a word beyond borders, you know? I mean, we only spoke English, and they didn't speak any English. And they told us to come to their home. And we arrived there, and there was a grandmother, there was a mother, there's like 5 kids, including the young girl that picked us up, and there was like 10 chickens. And it was, a little wooden house. I mean, these people were poor, they were living very basic. They gave us some towels, we didn't exchange any words, just smiles and gestures. And it was such a warm experience. That was one of the first experiences I got in the Philippines. A very local experience that really warmed my heart. So yeah, I never forget that.
What's the difference in experience to you compared to a more normal tourist place?
I remember going to the Colosseum in Rome, but it didn't impress me as much.
Right, because it's a total different experience.
Yes.
What's another example that was very impressive to you?
In the Middle East, for example, it's very normal that if you would come somewhere, that you join for dinner anyway, you know? You cannot leave before you have tasted the grandmother's food, and those are still the memories that are so vivid to me. And lying by the swimming pool in a very normal, general hotel, I can still remember it, but it's nothing I would talk about again. I wrote this book together with Sarah. Sarah is my companion of Wanderlust. We both founded Wanderlust back in 2014, 2015. We knew exactly what we wanted to write about because we always like to write about unique destinations. This book is really for the adventurous traveler. So the person that's a little bit curious about new destinations and doesn't like to share it with buses full of tourists. Personally, I think everybody in their life should go backpacking or traveling at least once in their lifetime. And also solo travel. It's very different if you go with a friend or somebody that you know as opposed to traveling alone. It's a completely different thing, and the freedom that you will experience is something that you cannot compare to anything else. If you are doubting, should I go? Is it scary? Just do it. That's my advice. So all the spots that you will find in here are less traveled, less known, or maybe you don't know them at all. However, to make it a little bit easier to read and more approachable, we've also put in places nearby. So the one place that we highlight is very unknown, and the place next to it is a little bit more known, so that when you go to the Grand Canyon, you know there's a place nearby that is also less traveled, for example.
If you guys want to know more about the book, then I'll put a link in the description. If you like my videos, subscribe.